The Memory Keepers, ancient civilizations that never forgot. Across every continent, in civilizations separated by oceans and millennia, there exists a haunting consistency. Ancient peoples who claimed they were not the first. Cultures that insisted they inherited their knowledge from those who came before. Civilizations so advanced that their very existence challenges everything we think we know about human history. From the builders of Göbekli Tepe to the mystery schools of Egypt, from the Vedic texts of India to the flood myths of Mesopotamia, they all speak of the same thing. The Memory Keepers. But what if these weren't myths at all? What if scattered across our planet are the deliberate records of a lost civilization that knew their time was ending? And what if some of these memory keepers are still among us? Welcome to another episode of the Knowledge Vault, where we investigate the mysteries that mainstream archaeology refuses to acknowledge. The Sumerians appeared seemingly overnight around 3500 BCE with no evolutionary precursor. They arrived with fully formed writing, mathematics, astronomy, and legal systems. But here's what's truly puzzling. They never claimed to have invented these things. Their tablets speak of the Apkallu, 7 wise beings who emerged from the waters to teach humanity the arts of civilization. These weren't gods, but physical teachers who left behind detailed instructions before disappearing back into the ocean. The Sumerian king list records rulers with impossibly long reigns before the Great Flood. Then suddenly, after the flood, normal human lifespans, as if the old guardians of knowledge had departed, leaving humanity to continue alone. The ancient Egyptians spoke of Zep Tepi, the first time, when god-kings ruled and established the foundations of their civilization. In the Hall of Records beneath the Sphinx, Herodotus wrote of chambers containing the complete history of Egyptian civilization, including the time before Egypt existed. When French archaeologists attempted to explore these chambers in the 1990s, they were mysteriously denied access and their permits revoked. Ancient Indian texts described cycles of time with mathematical precision that wouldn't be matched by Western science until the 20th century. The Vedas speak of the pralaya, cyclical destructions and renewals of civilization, calculated to the exact year. But most intriguingly, they describe the Saptarishis, 7 immortal sages whose duty is to preserve knowledge across these great cycles. According to the texts, they move among humanity in every age, appearing when civilization needs guidance. Aboriginal Australians maintain the oldest continuous oral tradition on Earth, stretching back over 60,000 years. But hidden within their Dreamtime stories are precise geographical descriptions of Australia's coastline from the last ice age, when sea levels were 400 feet lower. They speak of the Mao, old people, the first inhabitants who taught them the star maps, the seasonal calendars, and most importantly, the responsibility to remember. Aboriginal elders claim these old people still exist in remote areas, continuing their role as guardians of deep-time memory. The Maya didn't just predict astronomical events, they encoded the complete cycles of human civilization into their calendar systems. The long count wasn't just about 2012, it was a message about cyclical cataclysms and the civilizations that rise and fall between them. Inscriptions at Palenque speak of events occurring millions of years in the past with the same precision they used to describe contemporary politics. The ruler Pakal's sarcophagus contains mathematical equations that some researchers believe are instructions for preserving civilization through catastrophic change. Pacific Islander navigators possessed knowledge of ocean currents, weather patterns, and stellar navigation that enabled them to traverse thousands of miles of open ocean with pinpoint accuracy. But according to their traditions, this knowledge wasn't developed. It was inherited from the Tangaroa, ancient mariners who had mapped every current and island long before their ancestors arrived. Modern maritime archaeologists have discovered that Polynesian navigation techniques require intimate knowledge of Pacific weather patterns spanning thousands of years, data that should have taken millennia to accumulate, yet appears in their oldest legends fully formed. In 1952, Vatican researchers discovered a collection of scrolls in a sealed chamber beneath St. Peter's Basilica. These documents, written in an unknown script, contained architectural diagrams of Gothic cathedrals centuries before Gothic architecture supposedly existed. The scrolls also included star charts showing planetary positions from thousands of years ago with modern astronomical accuracy. Church officials immediately classified the documents, but leaked fragments suggest they were signed by an organization calling itself Custodes Memoriae, the Memory Keepers. During the 1960s, the U.S. government commissioned Rand Corporation to investigate anomalous historical knowledge among indigenous populations worldwide. Project Retrospect, as it was codenamed, discovered that isolated tribes on 6 continents possessed identical flood chronologies, stellar knowledge, and technological concepts they shouldn't have known. The final report, still partially classified, concluded that these weren't independent developments, but evidence of coordinated knowledge preservation by persons unknown. The project was quietly terminated after researchers reported being contacted by individuals claiming to be part of the preservation network. In 2018, a group of computer scientists analyzing ancient mathematical texts made a disturbing discovery. Hidden within seemingly random calculations were binary code sequences that, when decoded, revealed GPS coordinates, chemical formulas, and warnings about climate change, all encoded centuries before these concepts existed. When they traced the origins of these texts, they led back to a network of libraries and scriptoriums connected across continents and centuries. All showed evidence of being maintained by the same organization using different local names, but identical preservation methods. In 2019, satellite imagery revealed geometric structures beneath the ice of Antarctica, structures arranged in patterns matching ancient sacred sites worldwide. When a joint scientific expedition was organized to investigate, they found evidence of recent human presence. Modern equipment, solar panels, and computer systems still operational. Most unsettling of all, they discovered libraries carved into the ice containing thousands of books in dozens of languages, documenting historical events with accuracy that surpasses official records. The expedition was classified, but leaked reports describe finding living quarters suggesting the site is still actively maintained. The evidence suggests that somewhere, hidden in plain sight, exists a network of individuals whose sole purpose is preserving human knowledge across the great cycles of rise and collapse that define our species. They appear in our myths as gods and sages in our history, as mysterious advisors and wandering scholars, and in our modern age as anonymous guardians ensuring that the memory of what we've accomplished survives what may come next. If they exist, they've watched civilizations rise and fall, catastrophes reshape continents, and humanity repeatedly climb from the ashes of its own making. They would be the ultimate observers, the keepers of our species' deepest secrets. So the next time you encounter someone with inexplicable knowledge, someone who seems to understand patterns in history that elude the experts, someone who speaks of cycles and preservation with the certainty of first-hand experience, ask yourself, could you be looking at one of the memory keepers? The truth is out there, preserved not in grand monuments or hidden treasures, but in the minds of those who never forgot their duty to remember. Until we meet again, keep questioning, keep searching, and remember, some mysteries are only mysterious to those who haven't been chosen to preserve the truth. Subscribe for more investigations into hidden history. Share your own encounters with unexplained knowledge in the comments.